This housing program, launched in 2022 by this government, was an ambitious housing program where we said to our public that we will build 10,000 houses over a 5-year period. And while persons may question why we set such an ambitious housing program, I said to you the reason for such an ambitious housing program is simply because we recognize that at the National Housing Corporation, persons were only given promises about housing. There were some 3,000 to 4,000 housing units that existed in this country, and some of which have been divested to ownership. And I applaud National Housing for that and the government for coming up with that program. But indeed, when you have persons approaching the National Housing Corporation on a weekly basis and the staff doing their job of taking their names, giving hope to them. But at the end of the day, 2 years pass and they can't hear nothing from you. 3 years pass, they can't hear nothing from you. 4 years pass, they don't hear anything from you. 10 years pass, they don't hear anything from you. 20 years pass, and they don't hear anything from you. We recognize that we cannot treat our citizens like toys. We cannot just promise our citizens and give them fair promises. They go back home and they feel excited on the day I've gone to National Housing and I've been promised a house and they feel good for 6 months, and after that they don't hear anything. No fault of the staff. This speaks to government policy because the staff have to do what they have to do. They have to take your name, they have to write it down, they have to give you hope. And there too, we're hoping that the government of the day, or the government, and I'm not picking up B or D, I'm speaking to you about what happened in the past and why when we came to government in 2018, 7 years ago, today marks that day that we will celebrate this afternoon. And then in 2022, we set the ambitious target, and I understand why. Because persons were given fair promises. Being told stories, going home to their children, no, I have applied for a house, I will get a house. And at the end of the day, 10 years and 15 years pass, no houses. I can say to you that this government that I'm proud to be a part of is living its Manifesto 2018 promise of providing affordable, resilient home ownership. And when we do that, we develop a society. When we do that, we break intergenerational poverty. When we do that, we create wholesome communities. So the social element is being addressed with our policies. The economic element is being addressed with our policies. And the environmental aspect is being addressed with our policies. To know that we have impacted 11 families. And I say 11 families because a family came and said to us, we have land. And she's here this morning. Welcome, my dear. She says she has land. And if she can get a house on her land. And we said, why not? You're a public servant. And while the GM may say it is far down the road, it's not that far. It's a stone throw from the other thing. And I'm proud to know that GM, we acted on that. We acted on that. And I stand this morning as a proud minister in Clifden, Member of Parliament Sonia Brown, to say to you that this housing project is testimony to the innovative nature of this government, how we see housing. We can no longer live in a world where bricks and mortar dictate housing. We have to look at innovative solutions to housing, and that we have started more hardwood houses across the landscape of this country. 89 of which, the first 89 will go again in the constituency of St. Philip North, right opposite the prison. 89. But those 500 houses, some will go to Ebenezer, some will go to Lower Burney, and I will speak to Lower Burney shortly. Some will go to St. Lucie, Bright Hall in St. Lucie. I think most of them, 150, will go to Bright Hall. We have earmarked 100 to go to Lower Burney. We have earmarked between 75 and 80 to go to St. Joseph. That's his Castle Grant. Gingerworks, I call it. Gingerworks. I call it Castle Grant. It's next door to Castle Grant. Gingerworks. And we have identified some 511 houses. So we are proud to let you know today that the government has signed a contract with DuraVilla, and these houses will begin to roll into this country in the very near future. But indeed, what is critical to the housing program is what we term infrastructure. And infrastructure relates to the building of roads. Infrastructure relates to the creating the services, the electricity, the water, the gas lines. That is the longest aspect. And how we intend to shorten the process, we want to do these developments in phases. I'm standing here where we have built 11 houses. This is a reasonably small development. But we had to put the roads in first.